All right, Jet fans, come on in, huddle up. Let's talk about the section of the team, a part of our team that is critical to the success, and that is our special teams, the kickoff teams, the kick coverage teams, the punt teams, the punt coverage, the return. Folks, there's so much involved that many of us don't recognize. Actually, these special teams account for over 25% of what we're doing out there on the field. Fortunately, we have a guy leading our special teams. I refer to him as Krusty sometimes. His personality is wonderful, and that's Mike Westhoff. Of course, you know Westhoff. He's been with us 10 years now and 25 years coaching special teams. He was 15 years at that other team down south. What is it? My something, you know, Amy. Anyway, Coach Westhoff has instilled a personality in our special teams, and the guys realize how critical it is. The topic of the week when it comes to special teams right now is our field goal kicker, Nick Folk. Folk also kicks off for us, as you're well aware. Well, Nick hasn't been hitting a lot of kickoffs into the end zone. We'd like to see him get the ball farther. That's one of Rex Ryan's concerns. The other was, of course, hitting the upright on an extra point recently, and that scared us. Nick's had a dry run here, or a cold run of 5 out of the last 10 kicks, and he's down now to 73% success rate. We know he's a better kicker than that. He's going to pick it up. He needs to pick it up for us to win these kind of games. Bringing in Brown last week to try out for the kicking, I think that might have tightened Nick up a little bit during this week's practice, but as Coach Westhoff says, Nick's been excellent this week. So we'll see how the pressure affects Nick or doesn't affect him. We haven't given up a touchdown on the returns. I'm talking about kicking off and letting those guys run it back. Our opponents are only averaging like 20 yards. So I want to stress the importance and success so far of our special team coverage. It's big time. The coverage is big time, and our team's been holding those other guys to only 20 yards. So that's real good. We get over to the punting side of the game. Hey, Steve Weatherford has been outstanding. Not only averaging 44.5 yards a punt, but he's only punted 3 that rolled into the end zone for touchbacks. Other than that, he's put like, oh man, I'd say 20 punts inside the 20, okay? So Weatherford is doing a terrific job. The punt coverage has been good also, only limiting the opponents to 9 yards a return. So as far as our coverage teams, they just have been very solid. We haven't had a touchdown run back on us all season long. Now, before we forget something, or a player that's often overlooked, is the guy that makes the most critical pass each play, whether it's the center on offense or the center on snaps for punts, for extra points, and for field goals. We kind of take those snaps for granted. But folks, accuracy is critical. When you're kicking an extra point or a punt, you don't want to have your holder having to reach to the side, reach up, reach down to try and catch those snaps to get them down for our kicker to keep on rhythm and kick it through. So, Purdom has been doing an excellent job with his snaps in both the kicking game and the punting game. Now, we had a big return game the last time we were out there. I look at our return guys on kickoff. Of course, kickoffs would be Brad Smith, and Brad has been one of the league leaders here now. He's 29 plus yards average, and the touchdown the last time we saw him take it all the way was absolutely sensational. What is interesting to me is our punt return team. We have Jim Leonard back there. Boy, and Jim Leonard, he works on that defense all day long, but he's back there catching the punts. The main reason, Coach Westhoff counts on him not to drop the ball. He feels secure whenever Leonard is back there getting the ball. Now, we remember the big return Leonard had when he does run him back to set up our winning field goal a couple of weeks ago. He's only run back 2 punts, I believe, but they have been successful returns. If we're in a situation to where we need to run the ball back, or we think we're going to run the ball back on the punt given the field position or the score of the game, the situation of the game, we put in Kyle Wilson. If you see Wilson out there, you can expect a run back. He rarely fair catches the ball. That is Jim Leonard's responsibility in those situations to fair catch the ball. All of this goes into making up over a quarter of this football game. Special teams are absolutely critical to field position and often scoring. So I look for Mike Westhoff to have these Jets fired up, the special teams fired up. Brad Smith, I'd love to see a big return. Most importantly is maintaining control of the ball, not turning it over in the kicking game, and having good coverage. If we can continue the way we've been playing on special teams, it'll be a positive night for our Jets. I'll be back at you with more specific aspects of the game tomorrow and the next day. So folks, let's think about this game coming up. Stay fired up, and I'll talk to you later. Go Jets. Ready? Break!